Hi there, I just made a mini masterboard for someone else in a new way. So I'm gonna just make one of my own. Basically, this is just the back, and what I wanted to do was decorate the back and not just have that be basic. I know sometimes people decorate and they want to use both sides of their pieces of paper. What I didn't do for this is I did not ink up the edges. What I wanted to do was have a combination of hard lines and soft lines, but I know from doing that I'm a big fan of just one or the other, and I really like ripped edges a little bit more, but I wound up with a lot more of the straight pieces. So I'm going to use up a combination of both, and I'm just going to go through it real quick. I'll probably even speed it up. This might be a silent video, which would be fine. This is 3 different book pages, some cut into shapes, some random. And if you want to see how I did that, there's going to be a video up at the time, or if not around the time that I put this up. And so yep, I figured I would finish off this glue stick and finish off my scraps because I'm not real good at storing my stuff. Glue stick pretty much done, unless I want to do it the hard way. Hold on while I get another stick. All right, so I'm back. So anyway, I'm trying something new. I was trying something with hard lines on it. Again, I forget who was the person who had a whole collage that they had with these hard lines on it, or AKA pieces of paper that are cut out like straight, as opposed to the nice rip ones that we're used to. But if I find out who that was, I will totally give them credit in both videos. But I just wanted to have enough to cover this page. Usually when you make a masterboard, you don't always pay too much attention to the back, and maybe you just use the front, or maybe that's just an assumption on my part, but I've never seen anyone really focus on doing anything with the back. But I always feel like the backs of these things are naked and don't get a lot of attention. So I'm going to just use the last of my pieces here. And again, this one is just for me. It might turn into pieces of a gift for someone else, which would be totally fine. And I hope that they love it. But I just had, again, a bunch of pieces of paper lying around from when I just did it. And I didn't have the heart to throw them away. And the technique is pretty cool. And let's see if I can possibly make a video that's less than a half an hour. So I'm going to have many goals for this. All right, and again, it's just my goal to get this piece of paper covered up at least once, just so that it has some thickness to it, but it doesn't need to have a lot. All right, I think I'm good. I have a couple other pieces of paper over here. Oh, that's the side of the book with the glue on it. I don't really want to use that. Let me just rip that real quick. And then I can't see the time with the angle my phone is on, so I'm gonna use that as a sign to stop here, and I'm gonna dry it and I'll be right back. All right, so we're back. We're nice and dry. One of the things I like about the purple glue sticks is that if you see purple, that area may not be necessarily 100% dry, but for the most part, you can tell what's dry and what's not. So I'm just going to take my piece. I have some watercolor paints over here. They're all from Arteza: lavender, sage green, bright green, neon pink, neon yellow, and orange yellow. I did a more muted version of this for someone else, but this one is going to be made with me in mind, and I'm going to use bright colors and a little bit more darker of a scenario than I did. I want mine to pop a little more, so I'll be right back and I'll show you that. All right, so I'm just going to add almost the amount of water as the container has for the little egg shape. And that made a good amount of solution. I kind of broke it down before. This is just one of those water pins. It was just the easiest thing for me to carry over the water with. And I had a brush here somewhere. I just have this brush. Any brush will do. This is watercolor paint, so whatever you want to do. I tend to start mixing the lighter colors first and then go into the darker, because even though I clean the brush, the water gets extremely dirty, and the watercolor itself, it just wants to keep breaking down the color that you stir. And when I get to the other colors at the end, I really don't want them polluted with the other colors. So I'm going to continue mixing these and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back and here are my colors. The purple did get a little bit polluted with the green, but there's really not much I can do about that right now. Last time I went diagonally and I do like that. So I think I'm going to do the same thing again, but I'm going to do smaller stripes. So I can maybe get each color on here twice, but then again, maybe not, because I have one more color than I did with the other. All right, I'm gonna use this purple now because I don't want it to be too much more spoiled. All right, and this is way, way darker. I just kind of wanted to go for a wash, not necessarily a paint. And this one's turning out a little bit more like a paint, but we're gonna go with it and stay with it, because we never know how it's gonna turn out at the end. I know it's gonna dry a little darker, but I can always change out my water and shear it up. Let's get that vibrant yellow in there. Definitely wanted to see that in there. You can kind of see the purple glue underneath the yellow, but I'm hoping that when I dry it, that won't be the case. All right, and I'm gonna get a little bit of pop of yellow for this corner, and then I'm kind of making like a bright orange over here when these are mixing, so I'm not mad at that. I wanted actually a brighter orange, so let me try to throw that in here. I definitely didn't mix them last time either. I don't know. That's such a nice orange. I don't want to go over it. All right, so I'm gonna rinse this out. And I totally forgot about my green. Let's get the green stripe in here. Again, it doesn't have to be precise, and it doesn't matter where you lay the color down, because this is going to be all cut up. And again, this is just the back. This is just a fun thing to do on the back, so the back isn't plain. You know, sometimes I wind up liking my projects back better than I do the front. This might be the case for this one. I'm not sure. All right, I'm going to dry this and I'll be right back. Here's a close look before I do. All right, we are mostly dry. I'm happy with how that came out, but I do want to use the last of my solution. I hate to waste anything, so I'm going to go back in with this orange and put it here, because I have some sort of like lines in this that I really didn't necessarily want. And then I have green left, and I think I'm going to put green over here, make sure I get enough coverage. And then I'm going to try to add some green over here in this far left-hand corner. If I have enough left over. just to give another pop of color so it doesn't start with yellow and end with yellow. Again, it doesn't matter. This isn't really one piece of art. This is supposed to be the back of something that's not even thought of, but I'm thinking of it now. So, and you know, if this was just one piece, this would drive me a little bit nuts. Also, one more thing to note is you can tell here that some of the pieces of paper of the book pages, some of the corners are coming up and they're exposing white underneath. I will absolutely glue them down before I come back to you next time. All right, again, I hate to waste anything that I have, so I have a little bit of pink left. So I'm just gonna go over these pieces here and just go back over this. I know I made that really pretty color. I don't wanna blend it out entirely. All right, waste not, want not. That's pretty good. I'm gonna dry this up and paste down those pieces that came up, and I'll be right back. Okay, now we have an explosion of color. I've glued down the edges. We're gonna move on to the fun part. I have a very bumpy and jiggy-jaggy rock. I have some black paint, and I have the cap to a Jägermeister bottle. Now these have all been used previously, so you can see that they have paint on them currently. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually brush regular black paint onto this rock. And I want to kind of apply it thick. And I want to really focus on the top parts of the rock. So I'm going to apply a pretty healthy layer of paint on here. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press it onto here randomly to give this page some character. I don't know about you, but it's giving me kind of like Lisa Frank vibes because the colors are so bright. All right, so now I'm gonna actually take the bottle cap and I'm going to brush it on. And again, I learned thicker is better, and I really want to try not to touch it. I really would like to put more. Of course, you could texture with a stamp. You could texture with anything you want to. But I was just inspired by something that Darcy did. And she had a ball of like yarn. All right, I'm running out of paint. A ball of yarn or a ball of string. And she kind of just rolled it around the page. So I was just kind of thinking of something fun that I could use, something out of the ordinary. Something I have plenty of on hand. You know, the empty bottle can be arted on or arted with in many ways. And I'm happy to report. Now see, the white is coming off from the last time that I did it, so I definitely don't want that. I mean, it's not the end of the world because this, again, is not a piece that's going to be used as a whole. It's going to be used as cut up into other pieces. So there you have it. That is the finished piece. I will dry and post it. This, again, is super fun to do. It just adds a little bit of dimension and depth to the back of your masterboards or whatever you wind up making this into. I might keep going with this since I plan to keep this one, and we'll see what this turns into when it grows up. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.